easy. Big propaganda and wrestling podcast. Let's go. Big propaganda.
Building. And today, I gotta start clapping already.
You gonna call?
I'm gonna start clapping already.
Shows this weekend. We came in and I had a good time. Got to speak.
That's when I came in. So I had to say everybody else will, all the old guys with the
That's mama right there, man.
That's Clinton, that's Angel. Hey, what's up, brother? Here, sorry, guys.
Let's rock. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Big Propaganda Wrestling Podcast Network. We're live in Third Ward at the Sacred Studios. It's going down. Today we have an incredible episode for you, ladies and gentlemen. Mike, let them know what the sponsors got going.
Oh, man. Sponsor, man. Shout out to Miss Arlena, man. Proven by Arlena, man. This right here is the official Big Propaganda Wrestling Podcast shoe.
Yes, sir.
I ain't gonna lie, man.
Genuine leather.
Genuine leather.
Lambskin.
Python. Designer shoe. Oh, my God. Let me get the mic back. I'm too excited.
Calm down. Not too much.
Designer shoelaces, man.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
It's sponsored by champions, endorsed by boxers.
Yeah.
I mean, award-winning shoe design.
One of a kind,
limited edition. So right now, if you want your pair proven by Arlena, you need to tap in with her right now. Click the link in her bio, man. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the social media platforms, man. Proven by Arlena. Click the link in her bio right now and get you a pair. Because, again, man, these are limited edition.
Limited edition. But you know, like how we always say, it's not about us.
Nope, it's not about us, man.
Because today we have one of the most accomplished women in independent history right now.
Okay.
We try not to mark out, but ladies and gentlemen, this woman is well-traveled.
Yes.
She is super diverse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the resume is impeccable. The prestige she puts on any ring she sets her foot in is astonishing.
Yeah.
We have the multi-divisional champion, promotional champion. Ladies and gentlemen, her star power is over 9,000.
Yes, sir.
She is the Renaissance woman, HYAN.
Hi.
Yeah.
That was such a good intro.
Thank you. We
Y'all
try.
should just announce me.
Yeah.
We try, but we got to give you, your props, your flowers, and everything. Have you accomplished in this business? You did so much.
Yeah.
You traveled all over the world. I mean, you faced a who's who of people. I mean, accomplished, established people, and you have gotten that ring and also showed that you are capable of showing your talent and just being just as high level as those people. And so, we got to give you your flowers.
Yeah, you got to give you your flowers.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I got to, remind myself sometimes.
Just a side note, I have put you on my Mount Rushmore of Houston Independent Women's Division. So,
hell yeah. I want to be
on there.
A Houston legend. I want to have my own day in Houston.
I think
Keys to the city one day.
She might be a living legend we got right now, man.
Yeah,
that's my goal. Mom would be proud.
Yeah, definitely. Mom's proud.
So of course we're gonna talk about wrestling, but we want to tap into something a little different right now. We got some fan questions.
Okay.
So one of the first fan questions is, what is HYAN's favorite food?
So my favorite food is chicken tikka masala, and if all my friends from the UK, they made fun of me for it because I had never had it. I've never really had Indian food before I went to the UK, And everyone told me, like, you got to try it. Okay, cool. I tried it, and then it became like a running joke because I would just get it like Uber Eats all the time.
All the time.
They're like, where do you want to go eat after the show? I'm like, can we get Indian food? Like, it was just the whole thing.
Okay.
So now that Steven's over there, I was like, you have to try the Indian food over there. It's like way better than what we have here.
Do you have a favorite place in Houston that you go to for it?
Yes, there's a place in the Woodlands called Amrina. It's
Okay.
It's kind of expensive, but the food is good.
Okay.
The butter chicken there is like A1.
So it's worth it.
It's worth it, yeah. That's like where I go for my birthday.
Okay, definitely. All
I have to
right.
try that out. The next question: do you watch anime? And if you do, what is your favorite anime show?
I do. I watch a lot of anime, actually.
Oh, okay.
So it fluctuates, like which one's my favorite. But right now, it'd probably be Attack on Titan. I watched it once all the way through, and I want to watch it again because there's so many like little Easter eggs, and everyone says it's better the second time you watch it. So
You pick up on like a lot of different things that you didn't pick up the first time.
Yeah, the first time I was like just confused the whole time until it all came together.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, oh, I want to see the little things that I missed. So that's probably my favorite one right now.
What did you think about the ending?
I loved it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
people were like, I don't want to spoiler. Sorry, guys.
Spoiler alert.
But like people were like expecting Aaron and Mikasa to just like run off together and everything be fine.
I did. I wanted the happy ending.
Everyone wanted the happy ending.
ending.
But like I really liked the ending. It was deep.
Yeah, it did. It had a deeper message to it.
Yeah.
I guess you could say.
Yeah. It was really good.
So I also heard that you've been watching a little Dragon Ball Z too. What was I say?
have.
Super?
I have,
Okay.
against my will, but I have. Because Steven really likes Dragon Ball Z. That's like his thing. And I've like picked up on it just because like he'll watch it and I'll kind of like hear stuff in the background.
Yeah.
And he always gets surprised like when I know things. I was like, well, I hear it all the time. And he has like a poster in his like office. And he's like, who's this character? Who's this? He's like quizzing me.
Quiz you.
Yeah. But I'm like, he's like, you have to watch it with me. I was like, there's so many episodes. I was like, I'll watch the
it's a lot.
movies.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll watch the movies.
Okay,
but I won't
okay.
watch the whole, like, there's just too many episodes.
Yeah, I understand that.
Do you have a favorite character in Dragon Ball Z?
Probably Goten, and that's because I named my dog after him.
Oh,
Okay, cool. Our next one is Snickers or Twix?
Snickers.
Snickers, okay.
Snickers.
Not yourself when you're hungry.
Yeah.
Okay, I really like this question right here. It said if you had to join a faction between NWO Black and White or DX, which one would you pick?
I think DX. Because
DX,
I was more like a WWF girly instead of like a WCW girly. So definitely DX.
Okay. I like that.
I prefer the crotch chop.
The crotch chop.
Yeah, of
Than the too
course.
sweet.
Okay. That's gonna wrap up our fan questions. What you got next, man?
Yeah, well, let's get into the Renaissance woman. That's what I really want to get into. How did that moniker come about, and just the transformation of really developing that whole mentality of being the Renaissance woman?
So, just in general, I feel like I'm a very well-rounded person, like
Exactly,
outside
okay,
of
yeah.
wrestling. And I've always wanted to be a well-rounded performer. So being able to do like the technical stuff, the high-flying stuff, any like power moves. I've always wanted to be a jack of all trades, and that's what a Renaissance woman is. It's a jack of all trades. That's what I want to be. That's what I want to be the best.
Yeah, I can dig it. So does the Renaissance woman has any set of talented skills outside of just wrestling?
Yeah, I can play the saxophone.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I have an alto sax at home.
Okay.
I actually just bought new reeds.
Okay.
So I can start. I've been playing since I was 10, 11.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've been playing for a really, really long time. And sometimes I just like to like grab some sheet music and like just challenge myself and see what I
Really?
can play. Yeah. It kind of sucks because I live in an apartment, so I'm sure my neighbors don't like it, but
They'd be all right. They'd be fine. They'd be fine.
and then I also knit. I've like knit Stevens.
Okay.
I like when I was in college, I didn't have any money, so
Okay.
I didn't have money to buy people Christmas presents. So I just taught myself how to knit, and I just made everybody scarves for Christmas.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scarves, sweaters,
Yeah.
socks, maybe whatever you like.
Yeah, I heard crochet is easier though, so I might try to move to crochet because knitting is actually pretty hard. I'd get frustrated. I'd rage quit a few times.
Okay. That's pretty dope. I like that. So, you're so well traveled, and like that's something that just really stuck out to me.
Yeah.
You've been to Japan, Germany, right? London, UK,
The Netherlands.
Netherlands. What's been the best country you've had your best experience in?
So, like, two answers.
Okay.
So I think like cultural wise, like the place I enjoyed like the culture the most was probably Japan.
Okay.
Just because it's literally anime, wrestling, and Japanese food. Like that's the trifecta. Like what I love those things.
I mean, I can agree with you because I want to experience Japan too.
And it's
for
so
those main three
beautiful.
reasons.
It's so beautiful, and it's just a complete. It's so different from the U.S. and I really loved it.
Yeah.
But wrestling wise, I really enjoy the UK wrestling scene. Like Brit Rest has a really special place in my heart.
Yeah, it's the kind of like the crowd different over there in the UK. They say they get a little rowdy over there.
Yeah, they're definitely more rowdy. And they do like the football chants.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
they'll
yeah,
sing
yeah, yeah.
along like during your match. And
Okay.
it really is just like so cool, especially the first time they do it for you. You're just like, wow. And
Yeah.
everyone has like their own little chant that they get.
They do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
That
it
seems
is
pretty
it
dope.
is really like the fans there are next level.
Okay. Did you have a favorite show you attended or you participated in when you was over there?
Yeah, Revolution Pro.
Oh,
Rev
okay,
Pro,
okay.
that's like my home away from home, I'd say.
Okay, Big Rev Pro.
Yeah,
They
I
got
love
some
Rev
good
Pro.
matches over there, man.
Yeah, they are really a big deal too. I mean, just even with you got Steven over there right now. It's just
Yeah.
like man, it's a big deal. Also with Rev Pro, you have been like everywhere. You been in WWE, ROH, Impact. What are some of your experiences going over to some of the more major promotions and getting to work with them?
It is really cool because you kind of see how TV works. And you'll find yourself in the ring with someone that you may not have gotten the opportunity to wrestle on the independents. So, like, I got to wrestle Mickie James.
The legend.
Yeah,
I
and-
seen that. I was like, wow.
At Impact, and she's literally the best, like such a sweetheart, and it was really cool because then I got to wrestle her again in England.
Oh.
So it's been quite a ride.
Yeah. One person I want to ask you about in particular is Miss Nia Jax
Yes,
at WWE. How was that experience?
it was really cool. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it was cool because it was in the Toyota Center. So I was like, cool, I'm in the Toyota Center, wrestling in the Toyota Center. She was really nice. I remember before we went out, she said, "Are you nervous?" And I went, "No." And she was like, looked at me like,
Yeah.
"Really?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm not." It's like, I'm just getting beat up. That's the easy
Yeah.
part. You know? But I remember her face was like, "You're not nervous."
Yeah.
And then they had me do like a promo
Oh, really?
beforehand too. Yeah.
Okay.
And she was like, "They're having you do a promo?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Dang, I haven't even done a promo here yet."
Wow. That's different. I mean, man, there's so many people off the top of my head. I'm just thinking you would win against the likes of Penelope Ford, Marsha Slamovich, Tessa Blanchard.
Yes, Tesla.
Athena, Indy Hartwell. I mean, names keep going. That is, you built such a magnificent resume.
Yes.
How do you just feel about, you have all this under your belt. It's just, and it keeps growing to this day.
Yeah, it's kind of mind blowing because I don't really think about it that way. I don't really look at like, oh, I've wrestled these people. To an extent, yeah, but it is kind of sometimes important to reflect because you don't really realize the years go by really quickly.
Yeah.
And you don't really realize all you've done. And it's so easy to just kind of like look at what you're doing right now and kind of get a little bit of tunnel vision. So it is kind of nice to just like reflect and like, wow, yeah, I guess I've wrestled all these people.
I mean, that's just not even half the people
But yeah.
I had written down, but it's just, man, that pedigree, that resume you have is, wow.
And I got a question to backdoor that. You faced all these different women, and I want to know, who did you have great chemistry with?
Out of everyone?
One that pops, one just sticks out to you.
The people that I probably had the most chemistry with would probably be like Giselle Shaw. She'd probably be number one. And then Roxanne Perez and Julia.
Yeah. Can we talk about that Julia match for a second? Because that was a
Yeah.
big deal for me. I mean,
was.
you know.
It was a big deal for me too.
You got to talk about that promo package.
Yeah, shout out to
Shout
Dan
out to
Miller.
Dan Miller.
the
For
best
the
in the
promo
game.
package, man. Once again, he never fails.
Never fails, man.
You know who to call. I mean, he did you an awesome promo package before that match, and just New Japan Strong Women's Championship.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that, and how was your experience?
That was like a whirlwind because I was in England and Andy Coulden, shout out Andy Q, he sent me a screenshot, and I guess Rocky had asked about me. He was like, "Is she good?" And Andy was like, "Oh, I put you over." You know, he didn't tell me what he said, but he's like, "I put you over." I said, "Okay, cool, thank you." And he was like, he said, "Expect to get a message." And I was like, "Okay." And I had woken up really early that day because I had to take a bus from Portsmouth to London because we were wrestling at the Copper Box Arena, and I was also wrestling for Defy that day. I was wrestling twice. And I wake up, it's like 2:00 in the morning. I look at my phone, and I get a message from Rocky, like, "Hey, are you going to be available for this date?" I said, "I am now." Yeah. And I just, like, it felt so surreal. It didn't feel real because that's always, like, I've always told Steven, and I've told a lot of guys, like, if I was a man, I would want to wrestle for New Japan. Like, I wouldn't care about the other big indies. That's where I would want to be if I was a guy. Okay. And I would almost have like this like jealousy as like a woman because I was like, that's what I want to do, but I can't do it because I'm not a man, you know? And so when they started using women on their shows, I was like, holy shit. Sorry, can I cuss?
No, you good.
Okay.
You
I was
good.
like, holy shit. Like, like it's possible, you know? And so when, you know, whenever I got to do that match, I was like, it was something that I never thought I would ever be able to do simply because I was a woman. I didn't think it was possible. And being able to do that and being one of like the very few women that have wrestled on New Japan is insane to me.
Yes.
And I remember afterwards, I was thinking to myself, like, what is there to do? Like, that was the biggest thing that I've ever thought I could ever possibly do. And what do you do after that? I was like, what's next? I was like, I could retire right now. I'd be so happy. I'd be good. You know what I mean? But I was like, you know, what's next?
Yeah, there's so much more to do.
Yeah.
And just, that's a good segue to my next question too. Because like how you were just speaking about for the women, the state of wrestling for women right now has evolved so much from what it used to be to what it is now. And I just want to know, what do you think about the evolution of women's wrestling now, and how has it impacted your career?
I think it's great, for one, obviously, because I remember when I first started, women's matches were like 5 minutes, 8 minutes max. And now we're like, go 25, go 15, you know, go as long as you want. And it's great to be able to have the opportunity to put on some 5-star matches, you know? And I think having more of a platform for women, it is really important to push each other to be better. I think, and this might be a little bit of a controversial opinion, but I think at times, because people want to book women on their shows, it becomes more of a quota, and the quality sometimes gets lost because no matter what, you're going to get booked because there's only X amount of women to be used. And I think pushing each other to be better and bringing up the standard is so important, because the thing about guys is guys can wrestle for their whole lives. A lot of women, for the most part, tend to like retire once they have children, you know? So it's like you don't really see like a female Ric Flair that's been doing it as long as he has. You don't really see women that are like Alex Shelley that have been doing it as long as he has. So it makes it harder to learn and get better. And so we as women have to push each other to get better. So we are always going to be deserving of the spots that we have, and that people can never say, oh, they just got a spot because they're a girl, or we just needed to fill a spot because we needed a girl. No, we got the spot because people wanted to see us.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I think women have come so far and doing so many great things in the wrestling business. I mean, to main eventing at the biggest stages, to putting on some of the best matches we've seen. They have really elevated and changed the game in wrestling as a whole. And, you know, you doing what you do on the independent scene is a part of that. And a lot of women you face, so.
Yeah.
Flowers.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Flowers.
Thank you.
So also, too, touching on that, you faced a lot of great women.
Yes.
But also, you've been in the ring with men.
Yes.
Speaking of that, Mysterious Q,
Yes.
he says you hit hard.
He hits harder. like hitting him hurts me. If that makes sense. Like I remember I dove onto Q, and it felt like I dove and just hit a brick wall. Like it went poof poof. Like, you know, it hurt, and I was like, Jesus, dude. And yeah, like when I wrestle girls, it's different because I'm usually the one picking them up. Yeah, I'm not really the one getting thrown around very often. And so it's like when I wrestle him, he's out here like gorilla pressing me from the stage into the ring. Like, oh my gosh, it's way different, and it hurts a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hold your own because you have had a couple of matches against GPA, Aaron Mercer. You even wrestled your own husband.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Aaron Mercer?
Yes.
Yeah, I wrestled Mercer.
Yeah, she wrestled Mercer.
We got
bro.
1 million views on YouTube.
It was crazy.
Oh,
great
my
match.
God.
Great match.
Okay, I got to go check that one out.
Yeah.
I was there with Wolf when that match happened.
Yeah.
We got to talk about that power driver.
Yeah.
That, wow.
That was my idea, actually.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that was nice.
What was that conversation like back on the way home? Like, yeah.
I was like, what did you think of it? I was like drilling him. What did you think? And like, I'm out here like, we're like critiquing each other on the drive back. But yeah, like he was telling me like, God, you're so intense when you call your matches, because we weren't supposed to wrestle that day. And so it just kind of came to be that day. And I was like super excited about it. Because I just know his moves and he knows my moves, and it was just gonna be so easy. And I remember he was like, I'm so nervous. I was like, why are you nervous? He's like, I don't want you to think I suck. I was like, I don't think you suck. If I thought you sucked, I wouldn't have married you.
Oh man, yeah. I definitely have to ask you about that power driver, because that looked like, whoo. I was like, man. Yeah,
like New Texas posted it on their Instagram.
Yeah,
and it got like over 10 million views on Reels.
Wow.
And I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
I was like, that was kind of wild, huh? But he had done the move before, and I was like, how come you never do it? And he was like, well, I don't know. I was like, you should do it to me. He was like, you sure? He was like, can you get up for it? And I would get offended. I'd be like, yes, I can.
Speaking of New Texas, you were champion. When they came to you and decided that to put the bet on you, how did that feel to know that you was going to be the woman of the company?
It felt good because one thing, Kiefer knows how to book the women, and he like brings in good women into the show. So he wants the women to do well. And a lot of the women who wrestle for New Texas are not only just like the top women in the state, but also the top women in the country.
Yes.
For example, like Giselle's coming in. She's been coming in a few times. She's one of the best. And he really puts a lot of effort into the women's division. So to know that, like, okay, you're the champion, so you're going to get all the girls, all the names that come in, you're going to have all the matches. And it's awesome. Because not only that, like, we main event, too, at New Texas. It doesn't happen very often in other companies.
Yeah, that's true. And that's all. Real thing I really do like about New Texas, he really does shine that light on the women's matches, especially that title.
Yeah.
That title has some big names around it, big matches, and he never goes wrong with that.
Yeah. He's, in my eyes, he's Booker of the Year. But, you know, that's just my opinion. But
he's really good at what he does.
Yeah,
he's really good. And he listens. Like, if you tell him, like, hey, I think I would really have a good match with this person, I really want to wrestle this person, he'd be like, yeah, let's hit him up, see what they say, like, if they're available. Like, he's always open to doing anything like that.
We was on the intergender matches, and I just thought about this. You went against Little Evil, and I believe Exodus Prime.
Yeah, yesterday.
Oh, man.
Did you see the dive?
I saw some highlights.
The highlights was crazy of that whole card, especially that match. Like, y'all did some things in that match. I mean, how did you really just, like, prepare for that?
Well, it was so funny because we got there so, I guess, kind of early. And, like, X and Adam, they're both really good. I wrestled Adam in singles, and he is incredible. And, like, it was so, like, I was telling both of them, I was like, this is the easiest triple threat I've ever done in my life. And then even Adam was like, I feel like this match is too easy. Because we kept, like, talking about it, and he's like, I feel like it's too easy that we're, like, messing something up. We were overthinking the whole match because it was just too easy. And we went out there, and it was a blast.
Yeah.
And I have, like, a bump on my head. I don't know if you can tell.
We could tell y'all had a lot of fun with that one, though.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Little Evil, man, a lot of people, man, they can't sleep on Little Evil, man.
No.
He puts on some great matches.
Yeah.
That match he had with Rudy Garza was badass, man. I've been keeping up with Little Evil, especially with Inspire After Dark. I love what he's doing, and I'm not gonna lie, I want to get him on the show.
Yeah.
I feel like he should be, like, a bigger than what he is right now.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Because he's insanely good.
Oh yeah, and then he's a badass heel as well. If y'all haven't seen him as a heel,
he's got a lot of charisma.
Yeah.
What's they call it? Machismo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow, man. I'm still a little starstruck, but
Don't be.
Her star power is over 9,000. So can we talk about the PWI? I mean,
yes, talk about that, man.
3 years consecutively, 21, 22, 23.
Yes.
I mean, just what is it like to be on that list? I mean, and you're one, like, I think it was like 31 one year, 37, 45.
Yeah.
It was just like crazy numbers to be that high on the list. How did that feel?
I think it was actually 4 years. Because I
okay.
I think it was like I was on it when I was 100 before it was 150, and like I never expected to be on it. Like I always thought the girls that were on there were like just like so high up, you know, and I didn't see myself like at their level. So the first time I was on there, I was like, holy shit! I went to the store and bought the magazine. I bought like multiple copies. Gave them to my mom. I took a picture with it. Like, it's so lame, but like anytime I've ever been on it, I always go out of my way to like buy the magazine because I'm like, whatever happens, like if I'm a grandma one day, I'm gonna be like, look, I was cool in my day. Okay?
Granny made it.
She made it.
Yeah, Granny made it.
Yeah.
That's great, and that's a hell of an accomplishment too. Also, I mean, that's nothing to take for granted. I mean, you put in all the hard work. You did all the right things, dedicated, trained, put on the performances of a lifetime to earn your spot in that top 100, top 150, top 250. Every year you did that. So
thank you.
Flowers.
Thank you.
Also, too, a lot of people won't be able to say this, but you can.
Okay.
the fact that you trained at the dojo.
I did train at the
That's
dojo.
crazy.
You gotta tell us about that experience.
It was, I wouldn't say difficult, but I would say it was grueling. So we would do training every day, twice a day. So you, like, first session would start at like 10 a.m. and it was like 2 hours. So you would do like cardio, like the first thing you would do in the morning was like go run a mile and a half. Go run a mile and a half. And then you would come back and do all these, like, you would do like 150 like sit-ups, and then you would do burpees, and then you would do like all these different variations of like a push-up. And at the end of it, you just be like so tired. And then you take a 2-hour break, like clean yourself up a little bit, get some food, and then at 2 p.m. that's when like wrestling training started. So you would like go through the bumps and a lot of the basics, the rolls, like everything. And that was also 2 hours. And on Thursdays, we would have the whole roster come in. So when I was in the dojo, it was like the young girls that were like, they hadn't had matches yet, they hadn't debuted, so they were still learning stuff. The roster, like some of the roster girls, because not everybody lives in the dojo. And then the rest of the roster would come in, like the older women would come in, more established. And we would do like a whole like team training on Thursdays. And so it's like every day you're just like beating your body up, because the rings were a lot stiffer than like the rings in America. And then at night, like I wasn't sleeping on like a bed. I was sleeping on like, it was just like a frame, and it had like this much like padding on it.
Wow.
There was like no padding. So it was like you're getting beat up in the day, and then you go to sleep at night and your body's just like so stiff because it's not like a cushy little bed, you know, and then you just do it every day. And then the days that you don't, you're doing a show, you're wrestling. So and I wouldn't say like it's hard, but it's grueling, and like bring Advil with you.
Plenty of that.
Plenty of
I think
that.
it's just a testament of that to that that's the way the culture is over there, and that, you know, kind of the culture of wrestling and training they have over there in Japan is just different from what we do over here in the States. They being so rugged and, you know, just rough like that all the time.
Yeah.
Did you get to train with Emi Sakura over there? Did you get to see her in the dojo?
So I was just in the Marvelous Dojo. So I trained with like Takumi and Mio, and like seeing their work ethic like is so intense that like when I came back to the States, I was just kind of like, I was running training sessions and everybody was like, oh my God, because I turned it up a notch, because I was like, guys, I've seen what they do over there, and like we're not phoning it in. I was a bad guy to some.
Sometimes somebody's got to be the bad guy.
So training with those women over there, and I know for sure, we talk about it a lot. We love the strong style.
Yeah.
How has that really made you step your game up? Because you have so many styles to me, you know, and then you went multiple countries, and I know in every country is something different.
Yeah.
And for you to pick up on that and to adjust, how was that for you?
To adjust to the different styles?
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like that's just one thing that I'm really naturally good at. Like, it's never been hard for me to just change things up a little bit. I feel like I could really have a match with anyone and be able to hold my own. But yeah, like it is like a slight adjustment, especially in like Japan, because you don't speak the language.
Yes.
So like, and tag matches are a lot more popular than like in America, or like six mans.
Yeah.
And so like you hear the wrestlers talk amongst themselves and it's all in Japanese, and then they look at you like, hey, what do you want to do? And you're just like, well, what were you guys talking about? Like, what are y'all doing? I want to know what y'all are doing, so I don't do the whole thing. And then, you know, when I was first over there, I would be like on the apron, like watching the tag match play out. And I was like, oh, I see the vision. It's playing out in front of me. I see the vision. I feel the story. I wish I would have known that before I called my stuff. But then after a while, you start to see, okay, like this is the style. This is how they do things. And then you can kind of just adapt your style in. So I remember like the first few shows, I was like, oh, okay, I didn't get it at first, but then as time went on, I was like, oh, okay, I got it. Perfect. Picked it up really easily.
Oh, that's awesome. I guess with that language barrier, you have to really lean into really feeling it in the ring and telling that story.
Yeah, or like even recording, like having videos of your own moves and be like, I'm not good at explaining things.
Okay.
I'm not a very like eloquent person, I don't think. So I'm like, let me show you instead of telling you. So I would do a lot of like record my moves and be like, this is what I'm doing. And they'd be like, okay.
That's pretty cool. Have you or I know you said it was like a language barrier, but was it any way that you still could like pick their brain and stuff like that?
Yes. So there was a language barrier, but a lot of like the Japanese speak really good Spanish. Surprisingly really good Spanish. So like Kaoru, who she's retired now, but she used to wrestle for Marvelous. When I would talk about matches with her, we would talk in Spanish. And because she wrestled in Mexico for a really long time. She actually lived in Brownsville, Texas for a bit.
Oh, okay.
So, and like some of the lucha in like Japanese style is pretty similar as well. So that's kind of how we would adapt a little bit, because I would talk to her in like Spanish and she would translate to Japanese and then come back to me in Spanish, and then I'd translate it to myself in English.
Okay.
So it was wild.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, that's pretty dope, man.
Speaking of fans, how did you feel when you first realized fans are gravitating towards you? Fans are wanting your autographs. Fans are looking up to you, and possibly, I won't say possibly, that you are inspiring other young and up and coming women to do what you do.
It's hard for me to like get that, and I think maybe it's just because I'm like really hard on myself. Because like when people are like, "Oh, you're my favorite wrestler," I think to myself, "Really?" Like, you know? And I don't, I'm not trying to hate on myself or anything like that, but I'm like, "Really? I'm your favorite wrestler?" Really? Like, it's so like weird and hard for me to like wrap my head around that. Like a few weeks ago, I wrestled in Austin, and this guy came up to me and he said, "You're my favorite wrestler." And I went, "Really?" And he said, "No, like, I'm not joking. You're my favorite wrestler. You're my favorite female wrestler. And Speedball Mike Bailey is my favorite male wrestler. You guys are my favorite wrestlers." He said, "I flew out to Vegas to go see you wrestle for New Japan." And I went, "Wow. Really?" And he said, "Yeah." And he's like, "What's your PayPal? I just want to like support you." And I just gave him my PayPal, and I was like, "Let me give you a shirt or something." And he was like, No, I don't need a shirt. And I was like, "No, I have to give you a shirt." Yeah. So I made him take the shirt, and I made him take a photo with me because he didn't want to take a photo because he was like so nervous. I was like, "No, you're taking this photo with me." Yeah. And then I didn't check. I'll get home. I like look on my phone. And it's like PayPal. Oh, I got PayPal. What was that for? It was like, he sent me $100. $100? Yeah. I was like, that's so crazy. Yeah. And like, it's hard for me to really just take that in. But I'm like, now especially, I'm like, wow, people like care. And I do look at like social media and stuff, and I notice like, I'll look at like the people that like my stuff, and I notice it's the same like, for the same group of people I see like I was like, these are my fans. Like it's so crazy to me. It's so crazy to me.
Real fans,
real fans, real people.
Yeah, because he you're on his Mount Rushmore, and he dove deep into why you're like she was number one, right? Yeah. And he dove deep.
Nobody has that pedigree, man. I'm telling you, it's different, man.
And he had me thinking. I was like, man, you're right. You got me thinking I need to redo my mouth. I was like, man, let me. So I had to go back, but yeah, man, that pedigree is. I mean, we saw you at Wrestle Rave. I'm like, wait a minute, what's she doing here at Wrestle Rave? I'm like, she's everywhere. She doesn't stop.
Doesn't stop. Always working.
It's wild to me. Like, I remember I was at Dreamwave and I saw Mike Bennett, and he was he was like, "How are you doing?" And I was like, "Good." And he's like, "I see you've been everywhere, man. I'm so happy for you." Yeah. I was like, wow, like Mike Bennett's been like looking at, like, that's like that's my
crazy.
Bennett, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, dang, I guess I am doing things. And then I'll tell Steven, he was like, I've been telling you this, but you don't listen to me. I was like, oh, it's just different when it comes from other people, I guess. But yeah.
I want to talk about Ring of Honor.
Yes.
I was super happy to see you on there. I'm like,
Definitely.
man, she is representing out here, man.
Yeah.
And to see that, the crowd. I know you've been in plenty of crowds and stuff like that, but how was that particular experience though?
It was so funny because they had emailed me about doing Ring of Honor in Orlando. It was like the first set of tapings. And I don't know why my brain didn't register it, but I just didn't respond to the email. I just didn't. I don't know why. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was thinking like, oh, it's not a big deal or whatever. I just didn't get around to responding to the email. And then Sean Dean like messaged me on Instagram and he was like, "Have you read the email?" And I was like, he's like, the Ring of Honor email. He's like, we want to fly you out and do a few shows. I went, oh, this is a big deal. Like, my brain was not computing that this was. I just felt so stupid. I like gaslit myself into believing like, oh, this is nothing, I guess. And so I got on the plane, went over there. Like I wasn't I was just expecting just to do like a dark match of some sort, but they gave me a full entrance, which I was not expecting.
Wow.
And
that was awesome.
I remember like the staff that's there, they're like, okay, you're gonna come through here. And I went, I'm getting entrance. And they went, yeah. And I went, are you sure? I said, yes. I said, can you double check? It's like 5 minutes before I'm going out. And she's like on her headset, like, yeah, you're getting an entrance. I was like, okay, all right. And it was cool because that's where they used to film TNA. And like in the back, you could see like the tunnels, the old like TNA tunnels. So I was like, wow, like this is what it looks like. This is what it was like. Okay. And like going out there, I was surprised that people like knew who I was because I was like, I wasn't like announced that I was going to be there, you know? So for people to like, I heard people chanting my name and all that stuff. I was like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah, that's all the hard work you be putting in,
Yeah.
man.
Sure. That was like, again, it was pretty dope seeing you on there and everything like that. And I know for sure that you're gonna go even higher. And
Definitely.
I know you said something about that you would like to go back to New Japan. How does those tours work? Because on the outside looking in, I'm thinking like once somebody goes to Japan, they're there for a long time, and I've seen like people go and they don't stay that long.
Right.
Is that's normal, or could it be an all year thing, or could it be a multi-year thing?
I feel like it's we're in uncharted waters because for example, like for Marvelous, like you had to stay for a minimum of 3 months.
Okay.
You know, and like for Stardom and like these other companies, it's expected that you do an extended stay, right? But like for Tokyo Joshi Pro, you can come in for like 2 weeks, right? And New Japan, for the men that are signed there, you know, they go for tours and then come back. They go for tours and come back. Some of them will move to Japan and just stay there. But how they handle it with women for New Japan, I don't know because it's still, everything is so new. Like the women's division is still so new and they're still figuring it all out and what it's going to look like. So, shoot, I'd like to know.
Oh, hopefully you'll be finding that soon.
You'll be back over there. I know for sure you'll be back over there.
That's my goal for this year.
Okay.
Is to go back to Japan.
That'd be awesome.
That's one of my big goals because last time I was there was 2019 and pandemic happened and now everything's back open. We're all pretty much to normal. And like I've grown so much from the last time that I've been there. I'm not the same person. And like as a person and just like in my work that I want to be able to like go back there and go at 100%.
Okay. You know, last time we had Steven here, he talked so highly of you, and one thing in particular he touched on, was the time when you was there for him when he injured himself, and just how you just was there for him, willed him back to wanting to stay in that ring, and get surgery, keep going, keep pursuing your dream. I know all that was tough on you guys, dealing with it at the time. So I just want to know, like, how was it for you, seeing him go through that and help willing him back to, the man he is now. Just look at him, man. He's a beast. He's the beast. This is the new Texas Pro Heavyweight Champion.
Yes.
And he's my favorite wrestler.
He's your favorite wrestler?
Yes.
That's fair. That's a good favorite wrestler. He, like, when we went through all that, so he had gotten, like, a contract. He got offered a contract. I still actually have the video of my phone when he got the phone call. And he goes and does his medical, and, everything's good to go. And, they want to double check his neck because his neck had been giving him problems. And he was really nervous about it because he was like, they asked me for an MRI. I don't know what's going to happen. Then they give him a call, and he speaks to a doctor that told him, like, hey, we can't clear you. Which, fun fact, we were watching the Kurt Angle documentary, and it was the same doctor that did surgery on Kurt Angle that called Stephen to tell him, yeah, you can't wrestle on this neck. Like, we can't clear you. And, but we didn't know what that meant for the contract status. And so he got that call about his neck December 23rd, because I remember it was the day before Christmas Eve. And then they gave him a call on his birthday to pull his contract. And they said, we can't offer you a contract. And I was like, horrible timing. Why would you do this on his birthday? And two, like, I remember I just cried with him. Like, he cried and I cried too. Like, because I know, like, I know what that, like, I didn't get the contract and get it taken away from me, but, like, I know what that dream means to him because it's my dream too. So, like, I remember we just, like, held each other and cried, and he was like, I don't know if I want to keep wrestling. And I was like, no, you're going to keep wrestling because you want to. And he got the neck surgery, and that was really hard because, like, he lost a lot of weight because he couldn't be active. Like, he couldn't lift anything for a few months after. So he lost a lot of weight. Steven also has, like, an insane metabolism that I'm jealous of. So, like, it was really hard on him, like, physically, like, to heal from it all, but then also just to see your body change because you're not able to do what you want. And us moving to Texas and him getting the opportunities that he has now, like, the guy that was, like, that got the contract taken away and the guy that he is now is two completely different people. Like, I was telling him, actually, like, a few days ago, I was like, you wrestled Alex Shelley at Dreamwave,
that was dope.
And then you went to DP Dub and you challenged for the belt. You wrestled Gringo and Tankman. And then now you're at Rev Pro and you're wrestling Leon Slater, who's signed to TNA and the Cruiserweight champion, and he's an insanely good wrestler. And then you're wrestling Connor Mills, who is also an insanely talented wrestler. And then you're going from Rev Pro to WXW, the two biggest indies in Europe. All of this in, like, a span of a month and a half. I'm like, that's an insane run. And he's so humble. He's like, yeah, I guess. Like, I'm like, dude, that's so cool. And I actually talked to him earlier today, and he told me, you know, how well the match went. I watched it too. I was like, it was so good. And everyone told me, like, a couple of the guys there, like, knew, like, oh, that, you know, he's my husband. So they messaged me and they said, oh, Steven did so good. And he's like, well, I'm glad to know it was good and people weren't just being nice to me to my face. But yeah, like, he's grown so much and he's so talented and he's, like, the most humble person in the world. he doesn't know how good he is.
Yeah.
He's great.
He's awesome. He
great.
is awesome.
Look,
Super talented.
He's great. What he's doing right now in New Texas Pro, he got the dream team with him.
Yeah.
We talked about like the transition of how they came together and mesh. They are, my opinion, they are the top dogs at New Texas Pro.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah, the dream team's really good too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we love
I feel
those
like they
guys.
go all three of them like mesh together really well, and they're definitely a powerhouse.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it, man. One time for wrestling love,
Yeah.
man. It overcomes all. It overcomes all.
Yeah, we definitely had to talk about that because he had us in here then there about to
Yeah.
cry.
Yeah, it was funny because I was talking to Dream Team yesterday because we were driving back from Inspire, and I was explaining to him, I was like, don't date in wrestling. I was like, do as I say, not as I do. Do not date in wrestling.
Well,
And they're like, but yeah, I said, don't. I'm the exception, not the rule.
it'd be like that sometimes. Okay, so I got a question, kind of like, just on the outside. So, they got the Montez Ford and Bianca Belair
Belair.
show. If you and Steven came up with a show, what would you name it?
Team Pretty.
I didn't expect that.
That was so like when we met, we were like a team in Chicago, and so like he would come out with me and like help me win matches and stuff.
Okay.
And so we would just call each other team. Like it was our unofficial tag name, Team Pretty, Team Pretty. That's why.
Kind of like an insider, Okay,
yeah,
I got
yeah.
it.
That's also the name of our Wi-Fi. If you're looking for Wi-Fi in the house, it's Team Pretty.
I wanted to do this right quick, a little game. I'm gonna name out some wrestling moves, and you can tell me the first wrestler that pops up to your head.
Okay.
We're gonna go with clothesline.
JBL.
JBL.
Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong with that. Let's go with frog splash.
Eddie Guerrero.
Moonsault.
Chris Jericho.
Chris, he got a nice
okay.
one. Let's go with powerbomb.
Batista.
That was my favorite
Yeah.
powerbomb too. Spinebuster.
Spinebuster. Damn. The Rock.
The Rock.
Okay.
That's a nice.
He
one.
had a little
That's nice
flashy one.
Yeah.
That's a nice one. Let's go with flying elbow drop.
Shawn.
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't go wrong with that.
Can't
one.
go
That's a
wrong with
good
that either. What else? Because we're going through these moves kind of quick.
one. Leg drop.
Yeah.
Me.
Oh,
There you
man.
go.
Let me see what else. Okay. I'm gonna switch it up.
Okay.
Whew. Charlotte Flair. Okay. I know you love Charlotte.
I do love
I
Charlotte.
know you love Charlotte. Okay. If you had to main event any pay-per-view with Charlotte Flair, what would it be?
WrestleMania.
Of course. That's a
Man.
given.
Yeah, WrestleMania.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie.
What else would it be?
Charlotte, to me, she definitely holds the name of Queen.
She's a Renaissance woman.
Hey, I can't argue with that.
You can't argue with the Renaissance woman about who is the Renaissance woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's incredible.
Okay, let's just say if she was here right now, what would be something that you would say to her?
I love you.
Oh man,
That's awesome.
she's definitely going down in history as
One of the GOATs.
one of the
Yeah,
GOATs,
yeah.
future Hall of Famer. I love what she's doing, and what's crazy is she is one of the women of our generation outside of the Attitude Era to really make women's wrestling on a higher level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I definitely could say she's definitely one of the pioneers.
Yeah. I think like that whole camp, the 4 Horsewomen, plenty of other women that came out of NXT today. all the ladies that's working hard over there at TNA, Impact, Ring of Honor. It's just like I said, it's so many women out here
Yes,
just really
it
doing
is.
so much
Man, it's
to
so.
for this evolution. It's crazy.
I ran across another women's wrestler overseas, and I can't think of her name right now. Oh my goodness.
Which country?
Oh, I think it's. Oh man, don't get me to. Let me go to the phone. Let me the line. But I actually put her in my. I'm making those newspaper articles on our Instagram, and I put her in there, and she actually had ended up responding. And
Recently?
yes,
Um,
I'm trying to go to one that's not that one. Let me go to the other one. And I was so shocked that she responded because when she's she's overseas, I'm like she probably ain't gonna see this, and she did, and I was like, oh my goodness, she responded, and I watched a lot of her matches since then. And where is it at? Where is it at?
have you ever inboxed any of your favorite wrestlers?
No, I haven't. I have not.
You haven't?
You
I
haven't?
have not.
Not even Charlotte?
I have not DM'd Charlotte. I've never even thought of doing it actually.
Really?
But now I have the hey Charlotte.
Found it.
Sometimes you gotta shoot your shot.
Yeah, I might have to. I love you.
Miss Sapphire Reed.
Oh,
Okay.
Sapphire.
I freaking love that woman.
She's really good.
Yes,
She's really good. I've met her out in the UK. I never got to wrestle her. I wanted to though. But she is really good. Like I've heard a lot of I've seen a lot of her clips, and she's gotten rave reviews from people that I hold in high regard. She's really good.
She's dope, bro.
Okay. Sometimes that might be something we can line up in the future.
Man, she is. I would love. Look, we do via satellite here too. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, if you watching, we do via satellite. Would love to have you on the show. Yeah.
I'll add her.
Oh, please do.
There we go right there. One step closer.
Yeah, she is
One
dope.
step closer.
And it's crazy. Like we talk about it all the time. We love more of the indie wrestling more than the majors. So, and then we tap in with overseas wrestling and stuff like that a whole lot. So, it opens your mind to a different place when it comes to wrestling because we so used to what we see here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so much more in other places.
Yeah.
And then like how you said how they do the football songs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That is dope.
Yeah,
and I
that
really
is
got a
dope.
first glimpse of that when it was WWE UK.
Yeah.
And honestly, that was my favorite.
Yeah. But you ever notice how crazy them crowds was when
Yes.
anytime they go over there? I mean, like they're booing the faces,
Yes.
they're cheering for the heels. It's like it was a different type of energy
and
over
they
there.
sang them songs consistently,
consistently.
man.
Yeah.
Like that whole, I would love to be in one of those shows.
Yeah.
It'd go to a Rev Pro show.
Oh,
Oh, trust me, that's on the bucket list.
That's on the bucket
That's on the
list.
bucket
We
list.
would like to start
Go to All In.
traveling. Well, we down.
I don't know the Wembley tickets. They kind of
The Wembley
expensive,
tickets.
right? They kind of expensive.
They weren't too bad when I went. Well,
Really?
yeah, because I was over there when All In was in the UK. They kind of turned it into like their Mania week, kind of how when WrestleMania's in town, like everyone's running around that. It was the same thing. So I did the Defy show and I did the Rev Pro show, and then the next day we went to Wembley and I got to see All In, and I was telling my friends, I was like, I've never been to WrestleMania, but I've been to All In.
Yeah.
How was that experience live?
It was so cool. So I was lucky enough that one of my friends was wrestling on the show, so he gave me some tickets. So I got to stay in like the friends and family box.
Oh, okay.
And I remember I went to the restroom and they did the street fight. And I'm like walking out of the restroom, like trying to go back to my seat. I'm like, oh, there's Eddie Kingston. And they're fighting at the bar right there. So like I had to wait for them to all finish up and go back to my seat. But it was really cool. And then afterwards as well, like a lot of the wrestlers were there because a lot of us got tickets from some of the wrestlers on the show. So, like, there was a bunch of wrestlers together watching wrestling live, and we all just kind of stayed there after the show. I remember, like, Will came up and said hi to everybody, and chatted with him for a little bit, and then went to get food, and, yeah, it was a good time. And then I flew back home the next day.
Wow.
Man, that was a lot. Dude.
What a weekend.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh, my goodness. How was that flight coming back?
So, I almost didn't make it back, which is a thing for some reason every time I go to the UK. So the first time I was there, my flight got canceled. Like I was on the plane, like getting ready to go, and there was some like mechanical issue. So I had to stay an extra day and then fly back. That was the first time. Second time I think was good to go. I think. Actually, just kidding. No, the second time was not, because I had to fly from London to Chicago, and I don't think there was a flight from Chicago to Peoria that day, because I lived in Peoria. It was like a small little rinky-dink town, and so I remember Steven had to drive like 2.5 hours from Peoria, pick me up in Chicago airport, drive me back. And this last time, so air traffic control like went down in like the whole entirety of the UK. And like all the flights had to get grounded. It was even on the news. A lot of like so many people were in, because it was during the bank holiday too. So it was a crazy flight day. And luckily they had to do like all the air traffic stuff like manually instead of like through the computers or something like that. So long haul flights got priority, like long haul, like international flights got priority. So my flight was delayed maybe like 3 or 4 hours. And then finally they were like, all right, our flight got the green light to go next. So like finally got over there, got home super late, but I was like, I made it. I made it. Yes.
You made it.
Overseas travel is always like such a headache.
Is it worse than that Japan flight?
It's the Japan flight is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
So like it was, I don't remember if it was like 13 or 16 hours from Houston to Beijing. And then then I had an 8-hour layover in Beijing. And then I went from Beijing to Tokyo, and that was another 4 hours. And it was the same thing on the way back.
Wow.
But luckily I can sleep anywhere, so it wasn't too bad.
That's a good thing.
Wow.
Yeah. Does your body ever get used to like traveling the way you do? Because you go overseas so much, and then even just like in the States you travel so much. Does your body just get used to it at some point?
I don't I really don't know how people like Will Ospreay does it, because he'll be like in England and in Japan and back to the States. Like he travels a lot through insane time zones. So I really don't know how like his body handles it, and then he still does what he does. I'm tired.
How are those airplane miles?
They're good. They're good. They're real good. They're real good. I'm wanting to go to like
Diamond Club.
Yeah, like I want to go to like I was telling Steven, I want to go to Disney for my birthday in Orlando. Because I've been to Orlando so many times, but it's always been for wrestling, and I've never just gone like to like Disney or anything. So I've never been to Disney in America. So I told him, I was like, I really want to go for my birthday. I was like, I have enough points. We have my flight. We have our flights covered with my points. Like, can you just pay for the tickets?
Oh, yeah. Better pay for them tickets.
You got to get them tickets, my brother. Go ahead and get it together.
Birthday. He knows, though. He knows.
That's cool. Well, this has been a awesome interview.
Yes, it has.
Awesome. We have had the Renaissance woman in the building.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, she has been incredible. Told us some great stories. Let her pick her brain on her travels and all of her endeavors. Man, we'd love to have you back. Actually, we would love to have you and Steven on like the show together or something.
Yeah, you'll see our like insane
awesome.
Dynamic. How I feel like I'm like Steven's personal form of entertainment, because I'm just so spazzy sometimes, and he just like smooths out my edges. I'm a lot more calm around him.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I can't wait to have you
Yeah, that'd
back.
be dope to have both of y'all on the show.
Yeah.
He'd be so down. He was actually telling me on the way here, he was like, are you going to chop them? And I was like, maybe. And he was like, well, just so you know, they said that I chopped the hardest. Like, that's literally what he said. I was like, is that I even texted him, I was like, is that a challenge?
Wow.
And he was like, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, you know,
you sure you want to do that?
we wasn't going to say anything because it didn't speak up. But if you are down for it.
I'm down.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, let's.
If you want it, though, it's on you.
Just do it. I got to do it.
All right. Well, we'll look, we're going to.
We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
I'm Zello Smoke, and welcome to Shots and Chops.
Oh! Oh my! Oh! Oh!
I know that was hard.
Oh my God! Wow! Oh!
Because that
Oh my God! Yes.
Oh. Am I bleeding?
Oh my God! You not bleeding.
Welcome to Shots and Chops. Renaissance woman, man. Woo.
Oh, that was awesome.